Good morning and welcome to Holy Baptist Church Online. My name's Dan.
Morning, my name's Dave.
Very nice. And we're going to be taking you through this morning. Here's what we have lined up.
We're going to be looking at the theme of generosity this morning. So I'm sure a lot of you were either watching last week or were at church last week. And I haven't actually seen the sermon from last week yet. Dan, you were here, so you obviously know exactly what went on.
Exactly what went on. In summary, Martin was speaking about generosity and how we often feel happier giving than receiving. And I don't know about you, Dave, but particularly around Christmas time, I'm more interested in the look on people's faces who I've given gifts to than the gift I received myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like that John Lewis advert, wasn't it, years ago? Do you remember with the little boy who was all excited, and you think it's because he's going to open his presents, and it's actually because he's got a present to give, and that's what drives his excitement there. So
yeah.
So Martin's going to be speaking with somebody from Roath this morning. So that's the Romanian Aid Foundation. So it's a charity that's connected with the church here. Does a lot of really great work over in Romania. So it's going to be a little bit of a chat, I think, between Martin. Instead of a sermon, if you like. So we've got some songs, we've got some Bible readings, some prayers, we've got a little game we're going to try.
We have.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And obviously, as you guys are probably aware, it's Harvest coming up. So we have a question for you linked to Harvest. What is your favourite meal, or I guess meal, food?
Foods, yeah. Either.
Yeah. What's your favourite meal, Dave?
It's really hard to say. I enjoy my food, so it's very difficult to pinpoint one. I do like a good curry.
Good curry
or a bad curry. It's just a curry, maybe. I don't know.
Any curry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a really good curry. I don't think anything quite beats that.
Yeah.
So.
If you guys type in the comments below your favourite meals as well.
Go on.
I'm a big roast man. Bigger the better. Toby Carvery, quantity over quality.
Not homemade.
No, I can make a roast, but we've got a small kitchen, small oven. But yeah, we're really interested to know your favourite meals. What have you got in the comments? Mexican.
Mexican.
That's
a good shout, isn't it? I like a bit of Mexican.
Yeah, I'm not great with spice, but
tortillas and
curry for Daniel as well.
Oh yeah,
spicier the better. Have you had a fowl before? Is that the really spicy one?
I think it was on. I think I had one of those times when you go out and you think, well, we'll like get one of those really spicy ones to try, but it's
hairs on your chest,
a little bit too much.
Yeah,
a bit too much. That.
Oh, Elise, definitely a roast. A woman after my own heart.
Oh, and Katie as well. There we go.
The
wives. There we go. Both like a roast. Fair enough.
Brilliant, fantastic.
Absolutely.
Good. So we've got a game for you now, or a little challenge. Tenuous link to food. Dave, would you like to explain the game?
Well, yeah, it's very simple. I mean, you're very welcome to give this a go at home as well if you want. If you happen to have anything, chocolate or biscuits or anything like that around. But we're going to try this game, okay? So we're going to try with a bit of chocolate. I've just dropped mine. We're going to try with a bit of chocolate. So we're going to put the chocolate on our heads and we're going to try and move it from our heads down to our mouths without touching it at all.
Yeah.
So we've had a rehearsal of this.
I had chocolate in my eyes still.
You did quite well with it, didn't you? So we're going to have a race to see who can do this first. Okay. With this, to see how it goes. So, are you ready? You ready for this? Let's give it a go.
Okay.
You didn't even start well. So. Well, I've dropped mine. I go too fast. That's the thing.
Okay.
Dan's got the technique for this a lot better.
Okay.
It's in my eye. No, there! Hey!
I wasn't even ready.
I did it.
So steady, doesn't win the race.
There you go. I won that. There we go. I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't expecting it either.
It's dark chocolate, and it's very, very dark chocolate.
It's a bit too dark.
You want it back?
No, as a prize, you get a piece of chocolate.
Thank you. I'll have that a bit later, maybe.
Yeah, so feel free to try that at home. Who wouldn't want chocolate at 10:50 in the morning?
Yeah, especially dark chocolate.
Yeah,
great. I think we're gonna have a song now, aren't we?
Yes.
We're gonna go to a song, and I think shortly after that, actually, we're going to be joining downstairs. But I can't even remember what the song's called.
Goodness and God.
There we go.
There we go. Cool. See you guys soon.
See you in a minute.
Darkest night, you are close like no other. Known you as a father, known you as a friend, and I have lived the goodness of God. Your goodness is running out, it's running after me. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able,
Thanks to everyone who's commented as well below. We're just reading some of the comments from earlier. Helen, just Yorkshire's, stuffing and pigs in blankets. That sounds good.
Perfect, yeah.
That does sound good. That's a good
Don't
part
need,
of the
don't need
roast,
the
isn't it,
veg,
for
just
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Daniel, you're absolutely right. White chocolate definitely tastes better.
Fun fact for you guys, white chocolate is not made from cocoa beans. You probably could have guessed that. I don't know. Not cocoa beans. We're going to hand over to the hall now, where you're going to be live with them, and we will catch up with you after the interview with Roaf.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully there'll be lots to reflect on and things there. So
cheers.
A couple of notices before we launch into the second part of our service. Tonight we have our monthly Going Deeper, where we just go a little bit deeper on some issues that we've been talking about. That's on YouTube at 8 o'clock. And rather than talk about the sermon series that we've been looking at, which is Live Generous, because it's Halloween today, we're going to be asking the question, why are Christians weird about Halloween? I'm going to be talking about how do we respond to Halloween, how do we respond, particularly as parents, to Halloween, how do we let our children get involved. So we're going to have Daz and myself and Becky, our digital pastor, will be discussing that. And you can join in the conversation as well by logging on and doing the comments, and we'd love to find out what you think. So that's 8 o'clock for about 30, 40 minutes tonight on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Also this afternoon, Daz, what's happening this afternoon?
This afternoon, we've got a praise party here from 4 till 5. It's going to be superheroes, lots of games, lots of fun, sweets, lots of snacks. So many snacks. If you haven't booked, you can still come. Just try and let me know. That would be really helpful. Just so I can make sure we've got enough tables out that you can sit around. So everybody's going to be sat in their own little groups to keep it COVID kind of friendly. But we're going to have loads of fun. And just, I said make a fuss about Jesus. And Martin thinks that sounds a bit like he's a dog. But we're just going to have... Make much of Jesus together.
Did I say that?
You said that. I'm sure you said it. Somebody said it to me anyway. We're going to make much of Jesus, and I'm going to make it.
And they can dress up as superheroes.
Dress up as superheroes. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like Jesus is our superhero, like the song we sang.
Yeah.
That's 4 o'clock this evening.
Excellent. Thank you. And lastly, if you're a church member, we have got leadership trustee nominations coming up. There is a letter like this. Neil will stand around handing these out to anyone that wants them. And this should explain the process. I'm not going to go through it all now, but if you do need help, do chat to Neil or myself or one of the elders, and they can explain that to you. Everyone is up for, every area is up for a nomination apart from prayer. That's correct, isn't it? Because Sandy is still 1 year into a 3-year sentence. Cool, excellent. So we've been doing this month a sermon series, a teaching series called Live Generous. And we've been looking at how we can be generous with different aspects of our life. We talked about being generous with our talents. We've been talked about being generous with our time. We've been talking about being generous with our story, our testimony, telling people about what God has done for us and in our life. And last week we talked about being generous with our money. And rather than do more teaching today, actually, we're going to give you an opportunity to be generous, particularly with your money and with food and bits and pieces like that. So we're supporting, I suppose, 3 charities, but 4 different ventures. I think they're up here on the screen. So we've got Renewed Hope. We've got Roaf, Romanian Aid Foundation, and their shoebox appeal. Doing it differently this year, but Brandon will come and talk about that. And also, as a church, around about this time, we provide lunches and also Christmas hampers for families in need, I guess, in our community. So we're going to be looking particularly at the first 2. Someone's going to come up and talk about that. But actually, with Renewed Hope, I'd heard of them. You remember that we do the winter night shelter with them here. But I hadn't actually seen what they get up to. So I took an opportunity to head up to Red Hill and to see what they get up to and talk to Anna, who's the project coordinator. So we're going to watch a short video now about Renewed Hope.
I'm Anna, I'm project coordinator. I'm project coordinator at Renewed Hope in Red Hill. So Renewed Hope is a local charity. We run a year-round drop-in for homeless people, vulnerable people and those who are isolated. And we also run the East Surrey Winter Night Shelter, which Hawley Baptist Church will know about because you've been a venue for most of the years that we've run it. As you know, we weren't able to run that last year due to COVID, and actually going into this winter we've got something else planned as well. Here we help people who are long-term unemployed. About 20% of the people come are homeless, so we work with organisations like East Surrey Outreach Service and the Borough Council. They send them to us and we provide them with a meal here, we provide them with snacks, but we also provide them with company, and that's really important because these people may not have their families nearby, and something we often take that for granted. So we are that community. Renewed Hope has been running for about 10 years now. It's been a charity since about 2015, and only actually last year, 2020, we moved into the current building we're in now, Shrewsbury Chapel in Redhill. Until then we were renting places, and this has made a big difference to what we can do, because we've been able to run more activities here. The space we've got here and the freedom it gives us is really good, and donations from churches like you, from individuals, has helped us do this. So yeah, we're really, really grateful for that. Thank you for choosing us as one of your harvest partners this year. You can help us with donations of food items, with donations of some clothing and other essentials that we need for the running of the drop-in. And you can also help us with financial donations. And this year, so the new project for our winter this year is to be running a house. So we're hoping to have that ready for December. We don't know yet, so please pray. But running that house is going to cost a lot more than running night shelter. So we would be really grateful for you to log on to our website and consider supporting us there.
What about Hawley?
What about Hawley? So, as you will have known, probably there have been a big homeless population in Hawley over the past couple of years. Reigate and Banstead Borough Council have used the B&Bs down there, and you may have seen refugees as well that have been coming in recent months, and they're refugees who are effectively straight off the boats. So we've sent clothes down there, and I'm hearing the churches have been supporting them as well. So we hope for this winter, the council will be using some of the B&Bs again for homeless people, and we are hoping that churches, the venue churches, will be hosting meals for those people, and you will be so welcome on those volunteer teams. We really do thank Hawley Baptist Church for your support over the years. Financially, as a host venue, which is so important, we can't do it without you, and in your prayers. So thank you for all your support and partnership.
An insight into what they do. I know that some of you volunteer with them, but we've got Nick, who's the trustee, who's going to come up and just say a few words. There we go.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank Martin, really. He's made my life jolly easy by coming and seeing Anna and producing a very good film.
Thanks to Becky for editing that one.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Becky, as well. And it really does sort of show very clearly what we do. There is, sadly, a need for us in Redhill. And what we have also really felt is that there's Crawley Open House quite close to here, isn't there? But Redhill really needs a hostel, because there is a need for a lot of the homeless in Redhill to have somewhere to go, not just during the winter, but all year round. I think it's a big thank you to you all, because you all volunteer, and not just in coming to Shrewsbury Chapel and doing the winter night shelter, but also financially. And we couldn't do what we're doing without your help. I don't know if there's much more I need to say.
No, that's
if
fine.
there's any questions, very happy to answer them, or have a chat to me afterwards.
I'd like to thank the Untitled Trust personally, because they looked after my husband when he was homeless 4 years ago. I am massively grateful for your help towards helping him get property of his own. He is ever so much happier now. Crawley Baptist Church have also helped him out. So thank you ever so much, and I'm grateful for it.
Yes, very, very kind of you.
Thank you. Thanks, Jessica.
Yeah, I can't get rid of the taste really when COVID's been made an excuse to close things down. You know, to me, we should carry on. We can't compromise on life. Jesus said allowed it to be closed. I just feel very uncomfortable hearing that.
Well, I suppose the one plus with COVID was the government did say it was going to take them 5 years to abolish homelessness. Well, they abolished homelessness in many respects overnight when COVID started by putting everyone who was homeless into bed and breakfasts. Now they're continuing to do that this winter. The only problem that we feel is that they don't think about where the homeless go. So we want to support them during the day in Redhill, and we find that they are put either in Hawley or somewhere else. So we then lose touch with them, and we can't help them then with the problems why they're homeless in the first place. So that's something that we are looking at trying to help with.
So it's good that the work hasn't stopped. You just had to do it a little bit differently, and you're still engaging with those people.
Very much so.
Yeah, thank you.
And we are hoping very much to do the winter night shelter as a evening meal, which I think would work very well.
Yeah. If you've got any more questions for Ed, do grab Nick. You're not Ed. I don't know who Ed is. Nick, then do grab him at the end. But yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, give him a clap. Yes. Not only are we supporting Renewed Hope, but we're also supporting a charity that's familiar to many of you if you've been part of this church for a while, and that is ROAF. And Bernard, you're going to come and share a little bit about what you've been up to and what you got planned.
Do I use this?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Though I have a big enough mouth normally. Now, many of you just have heard the name ROAF. It stands for Romanian Aid Foundation. We did try and call it RAF, but somebody else has taken that. We started in 1992. Before you were born, yes, thank you. That reminds me. Oh dear. It was started in 92, so next year we'll be celebrating 30 years of helping out our friends over in Romania. We especially aim for an area called Dorohoi, which is in the northeast county of Botoșani in Romania. That is the most poverty-stricken area of Romania. So that's where we are really needed. And God guided us to that area. And we've been sending out items. I didn't realise I had pictures there. Let me speak to that. That is a shop that we have in there. They are allowed to sell about 10% of the work that people send over, the items that they send over. And within that shop, that is what pays for our staff over in Romania. We normally send out items on 38-ton lorries. And so when you hear that we have to load a lorry, it is big. It's the biggest ones that you can have on the roads in the UK. And that's what we use. We also own an office in the town where if people are in need, they can come and they can register with our people there, and they will give out items of help and aid, but also add them to their list so they know where we can take stuff in the future. This year we've been asked by our team, we used to have a Christmas box type of thing with shoe boxes, and so they could send stuff to the children over at Christmas time. But this year we've been asked not to send Christmas boxes, as the amount of Christmas boxes are not keeping pace with the number of children. So the problems there, of course, is who do you give it to? And who do you select? So what we've decided this year is to send finance to our people over in Dorohoi, and they will buy the items of food that are needed for Christmas over there, a good deal cheaper than over here. So they will be able to buy a good lot more than we would be able to do. So we supply a cash amount, and all contributions from the church we will then give to Benny, who's our man over there, who will buy the food and distribute the food at his leisure. When he leisure, our poor fellow over there, he hardly gets any leisure with the number of people that he has to look after. If anyone's interested in helping in any way, come and see me afterwards, or Brian Gorn. And if you've got any clothing or bedding to offer, because in winter time it gets to -40 sometimes, and that's centigrade, -40. So pretty chilly. I do remember when I gave a talk at one time, there was a lady who was receiving a gift from Benny, and behind her was her house. The house was falling sideways, was only kept up by the door jambs and the window, the pieces of wood in the windows. And in actual fact, there was no glass, of course, in the windows. And when you think it's -40, they really do need help over there. So come and see me afterwards if you've got any clothing or bedding or like to come and help. Okay, thank you.
So we want to be able to give to some of the most needy in our community, which is the homeless. We want to give to the needy people elsewhere in our world, and that's our particular focus is Romania. But also we recognise there are many needs within our own community here in Hawley as well. And we've been doing for the last few years Christmas hampers. They've changed a bit. Initially they were a Christmas meal in a box, and you got a frozen turkey. But we moved away from that last year or the year before, and it's just a treat box, really, just full of really nice, fun things. If you haven't got much money, you're not going to be spending money on all those nice bits and pieces. So we're going to be doing that again this year. Emma Pearson's going to be leading that for us. And then also we're going to be looking at continuing doing meals over the school holidays. Jill Martin heads that up. We're in conversation at the moment about what that's going to look like, whether it's going to be a meal on Christmas Day. We're not entirely sure yet, but we're going to be, as a church, serving our community in both those ways. So, it's over to you, really. If I want to put we'd love for you to support those different charities financially. I'm not demanding, I'm just simply asking if you would like to support those. I'd want to give you the opportunity to do so. Many of you give in different ways, and that's absolutely fine. But we're going to listen to some music. You can give in three different ways, actually. One's a straightforward, normal way, where you can cash or check, and there's a box just at the back that says offering box. Any money that goes in there today is going to go to one of these charities, or it's going to be split between those four charities. You can do online banking. Some of you use your phone. You can get it out, and you can stick in our church details there, do the reference harvest, and any money with the reference harvest will go to those charities. Or I think we're a little bit more familiar these days with QR codes. I've tested it. You can actually scan that QR code from where you are sitting, and that will take you to our donation page, and you can give that way. If you get stuck, see me afterwards. I'm not going to be running around in the next few minutes trying to fix everyone's phones. And if you do struggle, then we can sort something out. But if you're able to give, So we're going to spend some time, just 4 to 5 minutes, just to listen to some music, and you can give in any of those ways. Is that okay? Does that make sense? Excellent. Let's play the music. Thank you.
How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? Oh, see how great is our God. The splendor of the King, clothed in majesty, let all the earth rejoice, all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide, and trembles at his voice, trembles at his voice. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? Oh, see how great is our God. And age to age he stands, time is in his hands, beginning and the end, beginning and the end. The Godhead three in one, Father, Spirit, Son, the Lion and the Lamb, Lion and the Lamb. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? Oh, see how great is our God. Name above all names, he is worthy of all praise. The hearts will sing how great is our God. Name above all names, he is worthy of all praise. The hearts will sing how great is our God. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? Oh, we'll see how great is our God. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? Oh, we'll see how great is our God. Amen.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed listening to that, actually, and a real challenge. I know we say this every week, but it is a challenge, and actually it's really interesting to listen to people, I think, who are at the real sharp end of doing all that they can here to help people that are less fortunate than us. And it brings back memories. I was fortunate enough to go to Romania several years ago, and we had a visit there to a local lady in her house. It was a tiny house. They had a lot of people who were living there at the time. And she was so keen to give us this jar of jam that she had. And she didn't have anything. They were short on food even. And yet she was so hospitable that she wanted to be generous with giving, something that she didn't even really have, to me, who has far more than I need, really. So that's always stuck with me, that, I think. And that idea, actually, that people who have less are often more generous. And I know that's the challenge to me as well, that idea that I certainly need to be more generous, and not just in what I give and in terms of possession and things, but in terms of time as well.
And that brings us on nicely to Bible reading that we have. This is taken from 2 Corinthians 9, verses 6 to 8. It says this: "Remember this, Whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Each of you should give what you have decided to in your heart, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. And that's a real challenge, isn't it, to be a cheerful giver? And I know with me, personally, when I see that there's going to be a sermon on giving or tithing, etc., I'm always a bit, kind of giving. For me, it's a big challenge not to give out of obligation or compulsion, or you should. I'm obliged to give a percentage or whatever. Yeah. But that's a real challenge, isn't it?
Do you think there's been that perception sometimes that the church has been a little bit like, give us all your money, that sort of thing? So if there's going to be a sermon about giving, it's about like giving as much of your money as you can to the church. And do you think there's been a bit of a perception of that sometimes?
I think historically, also, some churches, more so across the pond, there is this attitude of giving these what they call it, prosperity gospel kind of congregation giving lots and pastor riding in on a Boeing jet or something, or a helicopter. The pastor here drives a Ford, so a bit of context for you. But
I've not seen his private jet yet.
No, not yet. There's only a caravan. That's pretty nice. No, and you're absolutely right. Being a cheerful giver is something that's really, really hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think that whole concept that Paul was talking about there, wasn't it? Is in the sense of don't just give begrudgingly with this, but cheerfully give, because it's actually really good to give. And we talked a bit about at the beginning, didn't we? How it's actually better to give than it is to receive. And I think that's just it's a really good theme there that Paul's trying to tease out a bit, I think, isn't he? That, do it with a smile on your face, and not just in terms of your possessions, like we said, but in terms of your time and things like that, because I think that's what God really blesses, isn't it?
Yeah. And equally, I think some of the time it's actually almost easier to give money. Sometimes it's, if I just give that, then that's me done. But time, giving up your time, in prayer for something that's happening, or giving up your time to serve, whether it's your church or to serve other people, is equally, if not, that's more important.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it's a challenge, isn't it? And I think, like we said, listening to people who are at the very sharp end of doing this, it's a challenge to all of us. And I think there's always opportunities for people to volunteer and do more and help with this as well. So if you'd like to, please get in touch, and I'm sure there'll be lots going on for you to help with.
And if anyone wants to do live streaming, then they're welcome to take our place.
Yeah, well, sure they do a better job.
I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we're going to go to a short time of prayer now.
Let's just pray, and then we're going to watch a short video, I think, to do with the next sermon series, I think, was coming up. But let's just pray quickly, just to dear God, we thank you that you have given us so much, and we thank you for the blessings that you continue to give us day by day. And Father, we just pray that you'd help us to be cheerful givers, and you would challenge us all of what that means, whether that means to be giving more of our money or more of our time. But I just pray, Father, that you'd help us to know who to give to, when to give, how much to give. But I pray you'd help us to be generous, and you would help us to be cheerful. Amen.
Amen. Over to the video on our next sermon series, and we'll catch you briefly afterwards.
Let me tell you a story. It's a story of politics and chaos. It's a story of violence and tragedy. It's a story of hope, and it's a story of despair. It's a messy story, but it's not one that you'll find in your next Netflix binge. No, this story is an ancient story, recorded in the book of Judges, about a nation that had no ruler, no king, and seemingly no direction. We're going to be telling this story throughout November, and we would love for you to join us as we explore this story. It's gripping, it's terrifying, it's tragic, but it has some important lessons to teach us. Don't miss it.
We're back. That was nice and sudden,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
That's short enough.
There we go. Yeah, quite. Yeah, I mean, I think there's lots, isn't there, to look forward to there. I think with that, and I know nothing about what they're going to be saying or themes or anything. Looking at the Book of Judges, but there's going to be lots about that coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah. So it's goodbye from him.
Yeah, and goodbye from me.
Is that how it goes?
I think so.
Yeah, a bit before my time.
Yeah, and mine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for joining us.
Can I just say quickly, if you're here for the first time as well, please do get in touch with us if you'd like to. Please drop us an email. I think there's the details on our website.
Got a Facebook group.
Instagram. It's all on there. So please do get in touch if you're joining us for the first time and would like to know a little bit more about us as a church and everything that we do. But I hope you've enjoyed this morning. You've been very welcome, and thank you so much for tuning in.
And giving up your time to listen to us too.
Quite, yeah.
No, you won't get that time back. Take care. Thanks a lot.
Very much. See you later.
When I stand in that place,